honestly, for the same people, life can be so real.
Good evening, what's up? Just Sports with Sonny Wells. I'm back, 2 weeks off, and man, I came back after the Lakers won a game.
Welcome back.
Thank you. And they only won one game, and I'm just like, man, I after all that smack I talked about, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. Byron Scott is this, Byron Scott is that. They haven't done too much, but we got a special guest on the show today. Of course, my boy Smitty and DeWine is here.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, fellas. And
all right.
Old friend of mine, this gentleman. Well, matter of fact, DeWine, you go ahead.
Oh, man, old friend of yours, man. This is L.A.'s heartthrob right here.
Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, particularly the ladies. Gary Gaspar, man, Crenshaw High School, Shaw Dog, true and true, man. He's carried that work ethic around the world. Australia, Qatar. We're gonna get his full bio later. But first of all, let's just get some claps in here for Gary Gaspar. Welcome him in to the Sonny Show.
Where's your claps, Chris?
Okay.
Okay.
What button was that?
Hey, they're here talking about you, Gary, about all the fabulous things you did back in the day and what you're doing right now.
Well, I'm blessed. I've been through a lot of a great situation back in the late 70s, built by Coke West, of course, early 70s. And just grateful and, to be part of something like that. The tradition that we've had for the years and passed down on the younger players has been more of a benefit, not to them, but to us, because the tradition of where I came from is very strong.
Gary, give our listeners some background, man. Tell them where you played, the solo globe trotting. Tell us how you represented around the world.
Well, I just had the opportunity to travel through sport, using it as a venue to where it gave me an opportunity to see the world, to make a living, and to home in on my craft. But I've been pretty much from South Asia to Australia to Europe and back into Central and South America. I've covered the globe pretty much just playing basketball and coaching. And all that, again, came from just having that base from where I came from at Crenshaw High School.
What position did you play?
I was actually, when I came out of high school, I really didn't have a position. I was just a jumping forward who kind of accepted the challenge of what our team didn't have. We had so many different scorers that I just found a way to keep myself on the floor by playing defense. And I kind of accepted that role, and it just sprung into me being more of a 3 than a 2 guard. Because when I did go to college, I had to work a little bit on my ball handling because I wasn't a great ball handler with my right hand. I was a guy who could hit a mid-range jump shot, but I wasn't very consistent. So I knew what I was, but I also knew what I needed to do in order to get where I wanted to be.
How many years did you play in Australia?
Let me see, I played 6 seasons in Australia, but I lived 10 years in Australia.
What cities?
And, I played for the Illawarra Hawks, who were a NBL team at the time. I played with a guy by the name of Ray Borner, who was one of their boomers, playing on their national team. And I think I had a guy by the name of Josh Booker, that also played with me alongside of me in Australia. But I played in Illawarra my first year, that which is in Wollongong, close to Sydney. And then I took my talents from there and went to Melbourne. But the Tigers actually had signed someone before me, and although Lindsey Gaze wanted me to stay on the team, he wanted me to be in second division. They were going to pay me the same money, but it just didn't seem right. So I decided to go to a second division team that was going to pay me first division money. And it was the best thing that I actually did in my career.
Was Gaze related to Andrew Gaze?
Yes, Andrew Gage played on that particular team. And this is my first time that I actually met Andrew Gage, because being in Sydney, we're located on different sides of Australia, still being a very small country. Melbourne and Sydney are very far from each other. So I wasn't able to see him on a daily basis, but going into the Melbourne Metropolitan, you have teams consisting of country teams in the SCABL. You have teams who are competing both in the Victorian League, which now puts NBL teams and country teams together fighting for a title in one state. So it actually made sense for me to do this, because I didn't lose any notoriety. We were going to be on television. I played in a great community where it was just basketball, and then I played alongside a guy I had to fight with to be the MVP every single year. So
Interesting. Hey, Gary, I want to ask you, you know, you and Dewan come from a great school, great legacy with Willie West. And one of the things I've always wanted to know is, what did Willie West actually do? What did he give you guys? Now, I do understand that what was going on during that time was the Joe Weekly run, shoot, and dunk, in which most of you guys participated in, and you were at that point playing up against men. And so that just made you much better than all the other high schools around. I understand that. But there was a mental part to that Willie West possessed. And, you know, I guess I want to know, what are some of the things he said to you guys? Not Joe Weekly. I know Joe. I know what Joe going to tell you. But what were some of the things that he discussed during practice? What were some of the things that he said? What was inspirational to you? Like, you picked up your role. I remember your game, and you picked up your role. Everything you said was exactly accurate about yourself. And then you went on and did better and was able to, make a cool little career out of the basketball. But it all started, once again, at Crenshaw High to get the foundation. So, and Dewan, you can chime in, too. What were some of the things that happened to make you guys be who you were?
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Well, let me touch base, because you got to remember, when you bring the subject up, it touches a lot, because it's a different era. And what I respect more about our era is that everybody worked. I mean, we all had work ethic, and that would be from coming from even the worst basketball background to the best. If you remember, all 5 guys on the floor could actually shoot.
Yeah. 15 and in, it was money.
Floor, you actually guard. If you remember, there was a true center and a true power forward. The game has changed so much to where it'd be unfair for me to try to compare it, but I'm going to do it this way. Okay, I'm not going to compare it. I'm going to do it the way that I see it. The way that I see it is this. As a player, first, the one thing that coach taught me more than anything was work ethic. But the second thing he taught me was stick with what works for you, because everybody doesn't have the same game. Everybody contributes in a different way. If you look at our training base and what we teach our kids today, we try to teach our kids everything to be skill effective, okay? Sometimes it really doesn't even fall into the facet of what we're trying to teach on the floor, because it all boils down to guys setting good screens, running hard, on a pick and roll. And I said running, not jogging. sprinting to a pick and roll so that you can get all options on that. But coach gave us the base of understanding who you really were. And the reason why I said that early on about how I went about my approach to stay on the floor, because if I didn't, I really would have never found out who Gary Gaspard was on a separation from trying to fit in at Crenshaw on a social aspect and then trying to be a basketball player.
Wow. Dewan?
You got to understand what the social aspect of Crenshaw High School was back in the 70s.
Yeah, I got a little gist of it.
It was popping, and we were free.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't
Yeah.
have
Oh, yeah.
restrictions. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
We could do whatever we wanted to.
Right.
So it came back to, again, coach teaching us the discipline, understanding who we were, sticking with that, getting better every single day, working hard. But then again, I go back to where I came from. My father, and Dewan knows what I truly come from. My father was the strictest SOB I ever knew in my life. Okay, so the bottom line is, you didn't cross Lionel Gaspard. I don't care.
So when you reflect on that, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, it's a beautiful thing because, again, everyone in the neighborhoods used to tell me how hard my dad was on me.
Yeah.
To say how hard my dad, because I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. And my dad was always on me to do this and do that. And I remember the day that my dad would snatch me off of the court in front of Freeman Williams and Robert Smith and Mark playing it at Rogers Park because I didn't cut the grass. I ride my bike all the way home. But those kind of things, again, taught me the discipline that I needed. Just gave me that foundation, man, that I needed to understand who I was. Because, again, you're playing at Crenshaw High School, and every single year there's somebody coming. I mean, I played in an era where I had point guards. These are my point guards, dude. Cordy Dillard. If you don't recognize who Cordy Dillard was the foundation of what we were when we won a championship in 1978. I played with Franklin Rhodes.
Great little guard.
I love his game.
Then I had the gracious opportunity to see Robert Smith coming out and Darwin Cook taking over.
Yeah.
So that right there, and I wasn't a true guard. So I had to find a niche in order for me to fit in. Now, I could jump out of the gym, but at the time we came in, what really set it off was dunking was part of the game now.
Yeah, they had stopped the dunking coming out of the 70s.
So all the stuff that Dewan, you remember, man, come on. Even on the Sundays, you used to tell us to stop jumping on the wall.
Oh, man.
Remember the side of the wall,
man.
the basket to the walls, man, we would be dunking on the side of the wall trying to do stuff.
Oh, man.
Push that stuff back in, man, for y'all hurt yourself, you know? But it's just knowing what you wanted to do, man. It's just, I know what I want to do. I love to dunk.
Were you and Dewan years apart or what?
I was a little older.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's hear from the Dewan, and then we'll go to break and come right back, and we'll talk a little bit about the Lakers. Dewan, you were there before him. I understand basically Gary's game. I watched Gary, as a high school player. I watched him, and then, he was okay. He was always okay. He was always good enough to be on the floor. And, good thing he had his father there. But I don't remember you. You were in and out before I got here in 77. But I picked you up in the Joe Weekly Run, Shoot, and Dunk.
Yeah.
What are your memories about Willie West?
Willie West, what stands out for me is the structure, which a lot of young boys just didn't have. They didn't have that father figure in their life, and Willie basically put his arms around, an entire community of kids. And when you showed up at Crenshaw, I don't know how many guys were trying out for the team, the hundreds. And he didn't care what you could do. He may not have ever seen you play. But you were going to put the work ethic in and running around the school 21 times, running around the football field 21 times, running the bleachers 21 times, running the baseball field 21 times, throwing the medicine ball back and forth. And you didn't touch a basketball at all, and people left. I mean, you know, you had people like Paul Pierce. Coach West didn't know who he was and never saw him play because he couldn't put in the work ethic. You had Baron Davis. Those guys wouldn't put in the work ethic. And so throughout the years, it didn't matter what Coach had as far as personnel talent-wise. He found a way to win. Do you know he only lost 10 home games in 39 years?
Wow.
That's incredible.
10 home games in 39 years. That was just something that, and I mean, and Gary will attest, we had a fraternity going on, man. We'd be out of school, and we'd find out, man, the JVs lost a game. What happened? JVs were undefeated for like 6-7 years. You know, it's like when you win, no one had ever won a city championship 3 years in a row. He won it 3 in a row, took some time off, and then came back and won it 5 years in a row. It got to the point where you lost a game.
Right, right. I remember that.
You know?
That whole attitude about Crenshaw High, it carried on up until probably maybe 10 years ago.
Oh,
but
man.
they expected you to win.
Oh, man. To listen to Marcus Johnson get in arguments with Stevie Thompson about, you know. Go ahead, Gary. Go ahead. Jump in.
You just said the difference, though. And, you know, and I talked to Marcus, you know, and I had some concern when I came back from China this past year because if you don't know, gentlemen, I coached at Canyon High School in 2004 here in Anaheim Hills in Orange County from 2004 to 2010. And I coached Jeremy Anderson at UCLA, who's now overseas. I coached Chris Anderson, who's at San Diego right now, tearing it up. And he was the MVP of this region. But we won a CIF title here. And I asked when I came back here, what is the problem with our program? Why are we not on page with understanding the difference? City championships are something that is noted for us every year. It's not something that is like you come in and we talk about winning league. No, dude. We're talking about winning the whole thing. If we don't win the whole thing, we got a problem because we know that we're the top dog. We have to work that hard.
So when you asked that question, what kind of answer did you get?
Well, you got to remember, you know, we're living in a political world now where everything is kind of shredded, you know. So I don't really want to get into that side of the agenda.
Okay.
But I will say this. As a coach and a father, I wouldn't send my child to our high school, and that hurts me because I bleed nothing but blue and gold. Nothing. I get all my prestige when I come home from walking the streets, even here in Orange County, because of what I am and what I did in high school.
Yeah.
Bleed blue and gold. If I go to the city and to the Drew League and people haven't seen me in 10 years, they don't identify me with stuff overseas. What do they identify with? Blue and the gold. That's all they know me for.
Hey, we talk about Gary. I mean, listen to me, man. When guys in the city talk about guys that used to play, you know, just last week I was telling Gary was going to be on the show. I was talking to Nigel Miguel, and oh my God, brother, we talk about, you know, the original Spider-Man. When this cat left the ground, he just happened to stay up there. It was like, man, you could pump fake all you want to, he's still gonna be there. So his hops, man, are legendary. And you know, you play with Freeman Williams. That's one of your guys too now, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, Freeman. First, say wasn't one of my guys. Freeman, I give him all the props and respect because of this. You know, in our era, we had great players, okay, but only only a few of them stood out, okay? And Freeman stood out for me because here's a guy that I'm looking at in high school who is ambidextrous, okay, at 6'5", 6'4", and rolling at you with speed and can maneuver with either hand and still finish with either hand going to the basket or pull up on you in front of the defense with 3 or 4 guys and not be making a shot. So again, me understanding who I was, when I got cut from the San Antonio Spurs, I cried, man, for a week. I hadn't been cut from anything because I was the man in college.
Yeah.
Okay, and I wasn't the man in high school, but I developed to what I wanted to be. So that was a knock on my door. So when I came home, I had to find something to motivate me, and I was playing one-on-one with Freeman Williams at Trade Technical College. Okay, and it happened to be one day, a Sunday. There was nothing going on at the Joe Week League, and I just heard that there was going to be some game up there. And it happened to be that he was the first one up there. And we were shooting around for 15 minutes. And I looked at Freeman's mechanics, and I understood what he was. And then I saw him play. I didn't play in the game. And then I went home. I came back about a week later, and I started playing really competitive against Freeman. And I credit him for making me the defensive prowess that I was, to making me understand and how to stay on the floor. And see, a lot of guys don't give that respect, man, these days, but I give him that respect. I knew if I could, I'm like Freeman. I'm his size. I'm athletic as crap, and I'm going to stay in your face, and I'm not afraid of you. And once Freeman got that, because Freeman used to punk a lot of guys, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Freeman would never punk me because he know he couldn't punk me. He knew I had a heart, dude, and I wasn't going to stand around and just let him do that.
Yeah, that's true.
And had the size to like, okay, let's go at it. But standing in front of me, I was a man, a respectful man. And we never crossed that boundaries of like, we wanted to fight. We just competed.
Yeah.
And I love the competition what Freeman gave me because he truly sent me on my way to being a pro.
Hey, we got to take a break. We got to take a break. We'll be right back right after these words from our sponsors, Pitbull.
Any of them drinks in here?
I got some Gatorade, though.
Tired of those same old energy drinks with bad taste? Make a switch to Pitbull Energy Drink with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Pitbull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pitbull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Make a switch to Pitbull Energy Drink. Pitbull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pitbull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products. For more information on Pitbull energy drinks, bars, and mixes, visit their website at hiphopbev.com. That's hiphopbev.com. Online orders available at hiphopbev.com.
What's your style? Curly? Straight? Wavy? Or maybe you like it natural? Introducing Secret Styling Hair Care Products by Smith Products Company, LLC. A complete line of hair moisturizers, shampoos, conditioners, and an assortment of other hair styling aids formulated for today's fashion-conscious consumer. Enhance your style. Get the secret.
Okay, we're back live here. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Gary Gaspar, Skyping in with us. Hey, yeah. Hey, look, we got to talk about the Lakers. You said you were coaching. I'm currently coaching at Lawndale High. We look to do pretty well this year. We've got a couple of big guys, 6'10", 6'11", athletic. One, what's his name? Chimezi Mitu. He's got footwork like Elijah and can pass like magic, but he has no motor. He just has no motor, But if you piss him off, he'll go for 35 and 40. But we can't seem to get him to go there. Then the other guy, Buddha, came from View Park Prep, along with
one of my youngers.
Yeah, along with a guy named TJ, little guard. He's killing everybody. But we look to do well, and. Man, we're having a problem with motivation, but I look at the Lakers, and that's what I really want to talk about is I was so high on Byron Scott being able to shape and mold these ball players into their roles, similar to what you did, Gary. You found a niche for yourself, you found a role, and you stuck with it, and then you made it work for you. And once again, it is a different day and time and era, but the work ethic, I don't get it. I'm in the league. If somebody's hurt and I get a chance, oh my God. If I don't do anything else, I'm playing defense. If I don't get the score, I'm playing defense. But I don't get it, Gary. What's some of your thoughts? We got a couple minutes. Make it quick, and then we got to let DeJuan and Smitty get in.
Go ahead, Juan.
Well, I mean, it's a different era, man. It's this generation, and the fundamentals aren't there, like you said, from high school level, man. The passion isn't there. You got to want it, and if guys don't want it, how can you want it for them? Is it the dollars? Is that the argument you want to make? Is it living in Los Angeles and the distractions that this city has? Is that one you want to make? Is it, having to be able to deal with the transition of Kobe getting older, and him being a coach on the floor and in practice? Is he motivating them the right way, or is it, there's a lot of unanswered questions, and time will tell. I'm not going to take up any more time.
Come on, Smitty.
Well, it just goes to me from the general manager standpoint. How in the world were they going to start with a 40-year-old point guard who had a back problem the year before? So they started out with the wrong combination of players. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, possibly. So, Gary, your thoughts real quick?
Well, I agree with both of them, but a lot of combinations of other things, too. You got to have talent to win.
Yeah.
And if I look at the bench, look at the Lakers comparing them to what they have in the West, man for man, it's going to be a hard choice for any coach to come here and take over. So, I praise Byron Scott for taking the job, but they got to put some players in place, and that's going to be hard, with the salary cap. They've just signed Kobe to 2 years to 48. They still have Steve Nash on the table, so it's going to be a tough, Lakers fans going to have to fight through this for the next 2 or 3 years, man.
Yeah, it'll probably at least take that long. To their credit, though, they are doing better. They're not losing by so much. So the team is getting better. It's just tough to play at that level. Both of you guys.
Swaggy back next week.
Yeah. Oh, Swag's back next week?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, you pushed the right button, baby. That's right. Hey, look, our time is up. Gary Gaspar, thanks for Skyping in. You're welcome anytime.
Nice to meet you, Gary.
Thank you for having me. I'm blessed.
Big D, thanks for coming back. I ain't been here for a couple of weeks.
We missed you.
Thank you. Smitty, always a pleasure. And the engineer, Mr. Chris, who said he would host the show if I wasn't here. We're going to see. Yeah, he said that today. He's like, oh, you didn't ask me to host the show. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know you wanted to do that. You can do that, too. Sit right there, put that hoodie on, and we'll give you a camera and make it happen. All right, fellas, thanks again. Just Sports with Sonny Wells. I'm out.
All right.
Let me hear you say, yeah, 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 yeah.